Good morning. So here I am to explain you and to show you how to use and configure the role-based access control. So the role-based access control is a security feature, is an authentication solution that is useful for companies who want to restrict the access to the printer to specific users, or to make sure that some of the actions are only available for a few users. I'm going to show you how it works without the role-based access control, how to configure it, and then what is the result after having configured it. So here we are with the T2600 MFP. We didn't configure the role-based access control. So I'm a user, I pass by the printer and I can access to all the actions on the printer. Like for example, if I want to access the job queue, I have access to the job queue. If I want to scan, I have the option to scan. Or even if I pass by and I plug a USB, so I will have access to the content of the USB. Like if I go to print and I want to print from USB, I will have access to the content of the USB. But these kind of actions can be limited. So the IT manager can say that I don't want everybody to have access to the job queue, for example. And for that, he will need to configure some local users on the device and then to give them roles or permissions, roles and permissions to each of the users. So let's go to the computer and see how we can configure the role-based access control. Okay, so we were on the printer, and as you saw, any user that was passing by the printer could be able to print from USB, to have access to the job queue, or to scan to folder, to network. So what about, I'm the IT manager of a company and I want to restrict these features to some of the users. For that, I need to create roles and users in the embedded web server, and I go to the security part. And you can see here that you have an access control feature, and you have different sign-in methods. You have different sign-in methods, and you have the sign-in and permissions policies. So you can use as a sign-in method the device user account. So basically you create accounts on the device, and this is what we're going to do now. Or you can link your accounts to your LDAP or Windows Active Directory. If it's usually a bigger company, it's better to do it this way. But for now, we're going to do a demo on how to create and to use the device user accounts. So how do I create accounts on my local device? I go to device user accounts. I will create a user. I will call him Sergio. I give him an email. I give him a permission, so he's not administrator, because as you could see, we have 3 roles: admin, guest, or user. So Sergio will be a user. And I will give him a password that will be 4567. So basically, Sergio, to do any action on the printer that is restricted, will have to use this password. I apply, and then I go to access control to define what are the features that I want to restrict. You can see that we can restrict a lot of features related to paper management, supplies management, connectivity, settings. But for the demo, we will restrict the access to the job queue. We will restrict the print from USB. And we can restrict the scan to network. Okay, so what I just did, I'm saying here to the printer, okay, the administrator can do everything, the user can do everything, but a guest cannot have access to job queue, cannot print from USB, and cannot scan to network. So now let's go back to the printer and see the demo live. Okay, so I'm back at the printer. I applied one role to Sergio, he's a user, and I gave him some specific permission that the guests are not allowed to do. So let's see now, I'm coming to the printer and I want to access the job queue. I go to job queue, and as you can see now, the printer is asking me to authenticate myself because I did configure that the guest didn't have access to the job queue. So for that, I need to choose that I'm a user, I'm Sergio, right? And I need to put the password that was 4567, okay? Okay, and now I can have access to the job queue. another example. So for that, I'm going to log out, so just for the demo. But one of the restrictions that I put was also print from USB. So before, when I was going to the printer, before applying the roles and permissions, I put my USB and I could have access to the content, right? So now I'm going to print from the USB, but you can see that, again, the printer is asking me who you are to check that I have authorization to print from USB. So again, I'm going to authenticate myself with my password. And now the printer is allowing me to print from USB. Another restriction that we put was scan to network. So for the demo, I'm going to stay connected. And if I go to scan to network folder, you see that now I do have access to the network folder because I'm still logged in. If I did log out, I wouldn't have this access. So that was a little demo of the role-based access control. On the embedded web server, as you saw, when we were attributing the roles and permissions, you can restrict the users to much more permissions. Here we gave only 3 examples, but you can restrict to much more. And also you can create more roles than the 3 that we have on the embedded web server using the WebJet admin. Okay, so now we are going to see how can I do a pin printing on the T2600 MFP. I can do it from the driver. So here I opened a file that I want to print. I will send it to print as I would send any file to print, but I'm going to go to Properties. Then in Properties, I will go to Storage, and I will choose the option of Retrieve from Front Panel Private Job. I will enter a pin, any pin, so 4, 5, 6, 7 as an example. I will press OK, print. And now the printer is not going to print until I'm going there and I will enter my pin to release the job, and this is what we're going to see now on the printer. Okay, so now I'm back at the printer. As you can see, the job was not printed even though I sent to print, but because I sent via pin printing, so the printer is waiting for me to enter my pin in order to release the job. So how can I do that? I need to go to the job queue, and you can see here that we have one document that is on hold. This is the document that I just sent. And you can also see that the preview is not available because it's a confidential document since it was sent via pin printing. So nobody can actually see the preview. To release the job, I need to enter my pin. And now you can see actually that I have the option to cancel the job or to release it. In this case, I'm going to release the job. And as you can see up next, there is the little wheel, which means that the job is actually being processed and is going to be printed. And having sent this job via pin printing ensures me that I'm the one in front of the printer when the job is being released, and that nobody can pass by and take the job that is waiting for me in the bin.